I'd go through security and they would check my hands for bomb resin.
No.
I was like, yeah, I so badly want to make the joke.
TSA.
Like, do you guys think I fucked up the first time? And I'm like, back again? Like, I'm just a little gingy. Like, why are we doing this?
Finally. We are starting. All right. We got Lane Duckworth in the building in the Honey House Entertainment production studio. And we're here to talk about her life story. We'll just get into it right now.
Oh,
Let's go.
all right.
All right. Tell me who you are and kind of what you've been through.
Man. You always hit me with the hard ones.
I know.
So I'm Lane Duckworth. I'm a burn survivor. So the way that I got burned is I was 6 years old. I had just taken a bath. Put on my dad's t-shirt, which was a cotton t-shirt, kind of hung down to my ankles. At the time, it was just my brother and I home at the moment, and I went to get a movie for us to watch kind of in the corner of the room. And while I was looking for a movie, my parents had holiday candles lit, kind of around like the fireplace, mantle area on the floor. And while I was looking for a movie, the hem of the back of my shirt caught on fire by the candle.
Mm.
And I knew to stop, drop, and roll, but at the time that was not something that fazed me because my dad was a firefighter, so like he obviously trained us and told us to do all of that, but in the moment, that's the actual last thing that I thought of. So I ran around the house. We had a little island and ran around. And my brother was the only one home at the time. And he was able to corral me and push me out into the snow. And the fire actually started again in my hair. And he had like long johns on and like pulled out his sleeves and like kind of smacked me a couple of times to put out the fire again, which is kind of crazy. And then I walked down to the barn. He said he was going to go get Dad, but for some reason I just followed him down to the barn as well, which is probably like a 50-yard walk. And at this time, I'm like naked and like my skin is just kind of like hanging off of me, but didn't really feel anything. You know, maybe just in shock. I didn't feel anything. I just walked to the bar and, figured it was nothing. So my dad was down there and he knew what to do. He started cooling the burns. He was putting water and stuff on it, and he wasn't really freaking out, so I wasn't freaking out. And then kind of my next memory is having my parents and my sister and brothers like around me. They had towels that were putting on me to cool the burns, because essentially at that point I'm kind of cooking from the inside out. It's kind of like a hot dog, so you want to cool it so that your skin's not splitting open from being so hot, basically. So, standing there with the cold towels on, we're waiting for the paramedics to come. My mom and dad are there. They're not crying. I'm not crying. I don't really feel anything. We kind of think everything's fine, and maybe be in the hospital for a few days, everything's fine. So got into the paramedic. They drove me to where the helicopter was going to come pick me up. So then I don't really remember riding in the ambulance at all, but once we get there, we put me in the helicopter and start flying me. And I remember I had just got my ears pierced not too long before that, and they're telling me they're going to take my earrings out and stuff. I was freaking out. I'm like, you can't take them out. They just got them pierced. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. They're going to fill in. You can't take out my earrings. They're like, no, I think it's going to be okay. Because they're like, my ears were swollen. They're like going to pop off essentially because everything was swelling like so fast. So they're trying to get like all the jewelry and stuff off, which was just the earrings. But so they finally get those out, and I'm like, oh, we're in a helicopter. Let me look out the window. I'm trying to look out the whole time. I'm having a great time. It was a ball. Because I don't feel anything, obviously, so it's like, oh, I'm just getting a helicopter ride. This is cool. So I get to the hospital, and my parents beat the helicopter to the hospital, which has never happened. It's about like a 35-minute drive for them from my house to the hospital, which is kind of crazy. So I mean, it's cool they were there. So then everybody's demeanor changed a lot. They were all crying hysterically, and I obviously wasn't told this at the time, but the doctors basically said that I was going to die. They didn't intubate me on the helicopter flight over because they wanted me to be able to say goodbye to my parents But there's no chance at that point really that there's a survival rate. But so they wanted me to say goodbye. So, I get there and, everybody's crying, they're saying goodbye, and it's just like a super quick in and out. And then I get rushed into the emergency room. And then kind of from there, I just had like a bit of an out of body experience. And it happened to me actually multiple times while I was in the hospital. And it's kind of the same thing every time. There's just this one cabinet or like a big cabinet that's in the back wall. And I would come out of my body and sit on that cabinet, like just way above in the corner, and just watched all of these doctors, nurses just running like frantically around my body. And I can hear everything they're saying. And I'm just kind of sitting up there, just like I am now, just cross-legged, just watching. And I just remember a little bit of that. I don't remember like a ton more past that. And then got put into induced coma for 3.5 months. And while I was in that coma, there was still very like uncertainty if I was going to survive or not. I remember my dad told me multiple times he would go to the doctor like daily and just say, "Is she going to live today? Like, what's the chance? Give me a percentage or something." It's like for months, he's like, "I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't really know." Finally, like down the line, they're like, "Okay, there's like a 50% chance," like just to give my dad like a little bit of hope to hang on to. So, yeah.
Wow. That's so scary. Like what a crazy experience to go through. I can't even imagine that.
Oh.
How uncomfortable was that whole experience waking up after 3.5 months comatose and you wake up to, I mean, was your whole body wrapped up? How's the physical pain level? Like go into that a little bit for us.
Honestly don't remember pain. I remember just waking up. And in my mind, it felt like it had just happened. Like it didn't seem like 3.5 months by any means.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I just went to sleep and then just woke up. And so, open my eyes and there's just a room full of people and just faces everywhere. Everybody's looking at me kind of thing. And, they're like, "Do you know what happened?" Blink once for yes. And yes, "Do you remember this?" And I remember everything. So like everybody was kind of freaked out by that. Yeah, 6 years old, you remember everything, especially with all the drugs that they were like pumping through me too, which is kind of insane. But I don't remember pain per se at that time. I'm sure there was some. I think most of the pain kind of came later on for like the surgeries, the skin grafts, the physical therapy, the debridement. That's when the pain.
And how long did that take, that whole recovery of all the skin grafting, all the necessary skin grafts at the time? And
I mean, I was burned December 30th, and then I got to come home that Easter. And that's pretty much just because my mom was like stay at home. I mean, took care of me 24/7 and did like bandage changes and stuff like that. I don't quite know exactly how long. I remember going back. I mean, it was like, 2 or 3 times a year I'd have to have surgery. And then it finally got to like 2 times a year, then once a year. And now I'm at like every 3 to 4 years I have to have a surgery. So it kind of, to me, it seemed constant. It seemed like I was constantly going to the hospital for a surgery or physical therapy or something. There was always something that had to be done, it seemed like.
Yeah. Did you also said to me you woke up during surgery?
Yeah, I woke up. Yeah, I woke up once. This was like later on, not when I was initially in the hospital, but like going back for skin grafts multiple years later. But yeah, I woke up when they were taking skin off of my leg, which is a very interesting video if you ever watched to see what that looks like. But it essentially looks like somebody running a cheese grater, and it looks like cheese coming up, and essentially it's just your skin that comes up in a little flap. Luckily, I didn't really feel the pain part of it, but it felt like somebody was taking a rolling pin and just pushing it really hard over my leg. I couldn't open my eyes or anything in surgery. They, had them shut and all that, but I'll probably awake for like maybe 5-10 minutes. I was listening to the doctor's conversations. So then later I was like, I was awake during surgery. I felt you guys taking skin off my leg. I felt like the pressure and stuff of it. They're like, no, you were asleep. You just, think that you were awake. And I was like, no, I heard your voice. You were talking about golfing on Tuesday, and you were talking about your daughter, like just straight calling them out, and their faces just goes white after that. They're like, oh, wow, we need to pump up the anesthesia a little bit.
Yeah, I think gingers too, isn't it right? That redheads need more anesthesia than just like regular other brown-haired, blonde-haired people.
We are strong like bull.
Strong like bull.
We need more. Take us
You
down.
are, yes. You freaking are. What is this? So for your skin, when they replaced your skin, what did they use to do the skin grafts and stuff? What is that?
So when I was initially burned, they didn't quite have the technology to do some of the things I have now, but I would originally just do like a straight up skin graft. So if there's since I was burned when I was 6 and a little body, so I'm trying to grow into an adult sized body, but my scars are contracting and pulling everything really tight. It makes it basically impossible to grow and stretch out. So those tight places, they would basically just cut it and it would kind of open up, and they would do the skin graft from my shins, the top of my feet, and then my head. They did that a lot when I was originally first burned, just because there was it takes a long time to heal. So if they do it off my shins, I need to have another skin graft. They'd have to do it from my head. You can't accept skin from other people. It's like the only thing that you can't use as like a donor.
Why?
It just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know. It's like the only thing that you can't.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah, that sucks. So they're trying to find ways to do like spray skin now with like stem cells and whatnot, which is crazy to me. But so anyways, back then we just did it the old-fashioned way. You just take a piece of skin and put it in that area, and you got a little bit more room to move, kind of thing. Which, it kind of worked here and there, the best that it could. But then they got the technology of Integra, which is amazing. Love it. It's basically kind of do like the same process, except for you have 2 surgeries. They go in and they'll cut that spot open where it's tight, opens up that area, and then they'll take the Integra, just kind of like a thin gel gooey thing, and they put it in that area, and then they put a wound vac over it, which is just a little piece of styrofoam with like a suction, so it's just suctioning everything. And I have to carry around that little wound vac that just purrs the whole time. It's like a little cat.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it shark cells, or you said something?
Yeah, so the Integra is made with cells of great white shark. It's to help, so that Integra will be placed in there and your skin will kind of grow through it, but it helps have elasticity in the skin, and it just helps like regenerate cells to grow right there. So I've had it done multiple times now, and it's great. I mean, it gives a lot more mobility and like elasticity to the skin in that area, which is what burn survivors need. We're lacking any type of movement most of the time. So
who knew that great white shark skin would be the source?
I know, right?
Of something like that, and the elasticity of it. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I've had probably like 5 or 6 now with the Integra.
Okay.
And it's like worked perfect every single time. It's awesome.
Wow.
Great. It just sucks because it is a 2 surgery process though, which is like whoever wants to have 2 surgeries, and it is a little bit longer, I feel like, but a lot more beneficial than just a regular skin graft, for sure.
How old were you when you had that experience, and then how old are you now, and how many surgeries have you had since then?
I was 6 years old when I got burned, and I am 34 now. And was it 2 years ago now? I had my 29th and 30th surgery. Definitely still going to need more in the future. It's getting like a little scarce. I've had so many surgeries where they've taken skin off of my legs and head, where the doctors now are kind of like, you need to really pick what you want to have surgery on, because like, you can only take skin from your legs like so many times before the skin is just kind of like had it,
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks, unfortunately, with like taking skin off of my head. it's like a huge risk of alopecia too, which I don't want to lose my ginger locks.
No, you can't lose those.
So it's kind of scary. The last one, he thought he was going to have to do it from my head, but he decided not to, so that was pretty cool. But the next one I'm probably going to have to do probably off my head.
What's the craziest surgery you've had out of those 30 surgeries? What's the one you like most remember for some reason?
There was one, it was right before I moved out here to Colorado, and it was like all across my neck area, and I had a bunch of staples. They just put the skin in and they stapled it, so there's probably like 50 some staples in my neck. And my sister was there at the time helping take care of me. I think I might have had something done in my leg too, or my hands. I don't remember. I kind of forget which ones I had what, but I somehow got the flu the day after my surgery. So the day I got home from the hospital, basically, and I was so sick, and I had to throw up so bad. And I was screaming for my sister, and she grabbed a bucket, and the surgery was like so intense on my neck that I couldn't like bend to like throw up. So my sister's like trying to push me forward, but I have like surgery in other places. So I'm like, my foot's in the air, I'm like down here trying to puke, and it was so bad. And I can feel like every staple in my neck just like ripping every time I puke. You know, you can just feel it like clenching in. Like, oh, it was horrible. It hurt so bad. And that one took a while to heal because I did some damage throwing up so much. Jeez. Yeah.
What story.
Tore it up a lot, yeah.
What was, I guess, the best part of the hospital experience? I know you spoke about your dad playing pranks and stuff. What really what was the turning point where you're just like, oh, I have to get through this, or I want to keep living? What was that for you? What was a light moment in that whole hardship?
I kind of have two things for that. The moment, there was never a moment of like, I don't want to live or fight. That never crossed my mind. It was always like, I'm going to get better and I'm going to crush it.
Yeah.
But there was a moment when after, like waking up out of the coma, and they basically were like, you're probably never going to be able to walk again. Like, you're not going to be able to talk, write, like do anything, honestly. I also, while I was in a coma, had like brain boiling temperatures multiple occasions where they told my parents she's not going to be able to walk, she's not going to talk, she's going to basically lay in bed the rest of her life. Like there's nothing's going to go on in the brain ever again, especially having temperatures multiple times. They were like, there's no way. So when I came up out of it and they knew I was awake, whatever, they were like, you know, you might not walk again, this and that. And like my biggest goal was like, I want to run so bad. Like I will get better again to run. Like all I want to do is be a kid and just run. That's like it. So like my goal was just like every day, like, can we go for a walk so I can like learn? I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn to do everything again. So I was like, all right, can we go for our walk, which was 3 steps to the bathroom. But I was like, oh, I'm amped. Let's do it. Let's take those 3 steps. And then tomorrow we'll do 4 steps. Super painful. It was horrible. Like the first time standing up in 5 months, all the blood flow rushing. That was a horrible pain.
Would not even think that would even be a thing.
Crazy pain. Not like standing
just
on your
blood
feet.
rushing all the way.
Like not standing on your feet for however many months. Like crazy how different that feels. Yeah. But the happy moments though. My dad and I had some great times, as weird as it is, but we didn't like sitting in the room. Him and I would get really bored and antsy, so he would bust me out of there all the time. But even when I couldn't get in like a wheelchair or anything, even like just in a bed, he'd push me around the whole hospital in a giant bed, just like swerving through all these people and just going around. He did it so much that I actually memorized the whole hospital by the ceiling tiles. So I could tell you where we were, because he would tell us where we're at too. You know, he's like, okay, we're going by the gift shop now, and we're going by this now. So I like learned, because I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. I could only look straight up. So there was one time I don't even know how we were even allowed in some of these places that he got us to. We were like in the basement somehow, and there, you know, there's nobody around, and he's like, oh, there's like a bunch of construction going on here. There's this really big hole in the ground. It's crazy. And he kind of like propped me up so I could see it the one time. And I was like, sure enough, there's a massive hole there. That's crazy. So, you know, it's like 3 days later or something. And he's like, oh, do you want to go for a ride? We'll go drive around. Yeah, let's go do it. So we're going along, and I know we're getting close to that hole because I can see the ceiling tiles. I know where we're going. He thinks it's funny to fake like he trips and the bed goes and is going straight towards that hole. And so that's what I think is happening. He like, oh, I tripped, sorry. And just pushes me, and I'm just going straight for the hole, and I'm freaking out. Pretty sure I broke some stitches and some staples on that one, because I'm like, as much as I can move, like panicking, freaking out,
Thanks,
thinking I'm about to die. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. He thought it was funny. It was very entertaining to him, but...
You remembered it.
Yeah, I remember that one. He's like, oh, the hole's filled in. I'm like,
God. And you're like 6. You're like, what is going on
that's
right
a
now?
morbid joke, but...
Wow.
There was another time, though, he full on broke me out of the hospital. Like, we left the grounds of the hospital. He took me in a wheelchair, and, we're, like, downtown Kalamazoo, so there's, like, the cake shops and the nail salons, all that stuff, so we're just bored, so we're just, going in every single shop, checking it out. So we went into, like, a little cake shop, and we got carrot cake, which was awesome, which is, like, both of our favorite cakes now, and I love eating it, because it reminds me of that memory, so it's great. And he took me in and got, like, a little pedicure, and, just did, like, all kinds of fun stuff. But as we were coming back to the hospital, and it's right there is the landing pad over the helicopter that did my flight is right there. And it's about to take off. And he's like, oh, let's watch. This will be so cool. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So he parks me, and he's like, a couple feet in front of me, just watching, taking pictures and stuff. And the blades start going, and he didn't put the brakes on. And I had just had surgery, like, under my arm, so I had staples, stitches on my arms, and in the wheelchair with my arms propped up on pillows. Very painful, just going along. As the thing starts taking off, my chair slowly, like, starts going back, starts rattling back a little bit more, until the thing is, like, full speed ahead, and my dad can't hear anything because he's right next to the helicopter, and I'm like, like, flying backwards. And I smack into a wall, and both my pillows, like, fly out, and my arms, like, smack down, like, oh, like, screaming. And my dad's just up there, like, oh, shit, like, looks back and just takes off running, trying to catch me. It actually would have been great if we could get the surveillance of that whole sequence.
That's a few near-death experiences all in, like, a couple years or a couple months.
I was like, I think I'm ready to go back to the room now. And also, we got in trouble. We were never allowed to leave the hospital again after that, so... Pretty sure the reason that there's, like, trackers on people now. We saw our nurse when we were out there, too. They're like, what are you doing out here? You can't just leave. Nobody said we can't.
Wow.
It's fine. It'll be all right.
Sounded like you had some supportive people in your life throughout all of that.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember what it was like before the burns? Like, how your body felt before that? Or is this just kind of all you've known, so to speak?
Yeah, I think I only really have, like, one memory of before burns, but I don't really, like, I think I remember it more because I see pictures, but it was just, like, us, my brother and I, like, playing at a playground. It was, like, the last memory I have, but I don't remember, like what it's like to have, like, mobility and all that stuff. Which I think is a good thing. That, I mean, as weird as it sounds, like, I think it's better maybe that I was burned when I was 6 and not, like, later on in my life, because I feel like it'd be harder to know, like, what life was and then what it is now. I think I'd rather just have my life always known as being burned. I feel like it's easier.
The comparison, like, doesn't exist as much since it happens so young. Is there a part of your body that you've grown to deeply love or appreciate?
That's a good question. I mean, I love all of me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really anything where I'm like, oh, I wish that was different. Like,
yeah,
I kind of like it all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. You have to think about it more. Yeah.
It's all good. What are some interesting interactions that you've had with people just in your daily life?
Yeah, a bunch of real weirdos. For whatever reason, war vets seem to think I was in Vietnam. I don't know
why. You're 70.
I guess, yeah, this face says I'm 70. I think, I don't know why they say it. I think maybe because they were in Vietnam and they see burns and they're like, oh, I've seen that before, but only in Vietnam. You happen to have been there. I don't know. But that's always weird. I get asked that a lot. Or, like, people will ask if I was in Iraq. And when I tell them no, they just, like, lose interest completely and could care less about me, which is also really weird to me.
They just walk away?
Yeah. Straight up.
They're like, I don't want to talk to you then.
Yeah, this guy in the steam room. I was in the steam room with him, and I can, like, tell when people are about to ask. Like, you can feel it. I can just, you can catch the side glances, and they're like, look at me. Like, you just know.
There's an energy in the air.
I knew it was coming.
Steam.
Steam, yeah. And yeah, he goes, oh, were you in Iraq? No. He goes, okay. Just turns and walks right out. Like, you don't even want to know? I feel like I would still want to at least know. Like, all right, whatever, dude. But, yeah, a lot of, like, people in the military and stuff. The guy I was telling you about, the flamethrower guy. I was putting away my paddleboard one day by the lake, just, minding my own little ginger business. And this older couple comes up and they're, asking me questions about paddleboarding and stuff at first, whatever. I'll answer that. But then just straight up, dudes, how'd you get burned? Okay, cool. I told him the story and he goes, so I just want to know, like, what did it feel like when you were getting burned? I was like, lucky I didn't really feel like a whole lot as I was being burned. Just burned off my nerves so fast I didn't really, like, feel the sensation, which is great. He goes, okay, cool. I was a flamethrower in the military and I used to burn people alive and watch, like, their skin melt off of them and their tendons, like, snap. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, why are you telling me this?
What?
And he's like, I just want to know, like, if they were in pain when this and that, I was like, oh, well, maybe not, because maybe you, like, burned them so fast they didn't feel it. Like, just trying to help this poor guy, like, get a little bit of sleep at night. He goes, oh, no, they felt it. I heard them screaming. They were screaming. I'm like, oh, my God. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. It was really weird. So then I actually saw him another week after that, too, and he asked to get a drink with me. And I shot that one down.
Wow, the guilt and the shame is real, and trying to put it all on you is insane.
It was wild. It's a no for me, dog.
It's a never gonna get a drink with you.
Yeah. This another crazy story. Like, this one just blows my mind. I was working at a casino, just bar backing, so I'm behind the bar, just doing my own thing, and there's two people sitting there, and so yeah, how you guys doing? Everything going good? And this lady looks at me and she goes, "You need to stop smoking." What? She's like, "You smoke cigarettes. I can tell, and you need to stop." No, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, actually. She goes, "I'm a police officer, and you're lying to me, and you can't do that. You need to stop smoking." I said, "No, I'm actually a burn survivor. I had a trachea, so, like, my voice was a little bit raspy. But I definitely don't smoke." And this lady was, like, straight up pissed, like, started yelling at me, pulls out her badge, because she's a cop, wants to show me her badge, and she's like, "You're lying to a police officer right now. That's against the law." Like, losing her fucking mind. And we had to have the other bartender, like, the bartender's coming over, like, what is happening? Like, why are you so upset? Also, people can smoke cigarettes if they want. If she did smoke cigarettes, like, what's the problem here? She was just, like, straight up so pissed that she thought I was lying to her about smoking cigarettes. Like, I had to end up, like, just leaving. I, like, went to a different bar to, like, trade it out with somebody because she, like, couldn't get over that fact. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and leave.
People are so dumb. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that crap.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I had to get other people kicked out of the casino, too. Just, like, a big group of guys just walked up, didn't even say anything to him. And the dude, it was something along the lines of, he was like, why'd you do that to yourself? I said, what? And he said, why'd you burn yourself? I didn't. He goes, you're not fucking anybody. Like, we know that you burned yourself. Why would I burn myself? He's like, I don't know. Why would you lie? I'm like, why is everyone think I'm lying? I was like, I did not do this. So it was so weird. It got to a point they were like screaming at me, and one of the bartenders that was helping or that was there that day, that he was like my big brother. And he was like, no, we're not doing that. And he was like, y'all gotta go.
Good.
And got security, and we got him banned.
A casino in Michigan that you used to work at?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What other interesting stories do you have from like other jobs?
I mean, funny stories. Working at the casino, I had a burn joke jar. If somebody like made a burn joke, I like, honestly, if they didn't even say a burn joke to me, if they just said the word burn, I'd be like, is that a burn joke? You making a burn joke towards me? Pay me $5. And they'd be like, what? I'm like, I'm a burn survivor. You can't say burn. Give me $5. I'm like, oh, okay. Or for some of the regulars, I'm like, we got the burn joke jar. You could throw 20 in. You could bank some of those burn jokes. So if you want to call me a crispy bitch later, you get one. They'd be like, oh, you crispy bitch. And I'm like, that's
At
one.
least tip me.
You get one. You put a 20 in, we'll take it. So, I mean, that was always entertaining, but I always just really loved, my favorite thing is when I start a new job is to tell every person at that job a different story that happened
That's
to
what
me.
you did to me. That's why I'm asking this.
I love that. Because you know the confusion later when they're all hanging out as homies. They're like, oh my God, I talked to the new girl. She said she got attacked by a bear. And the other person's like, what, a bear? No. She told me she was abducted by aliens. What are you talking about, a bear? Like, aliens? What? She said she was a government experiment. What are you talking about? Like, the confusion is just fabulous. But nobody wants to be like, why'd you tell this person that? You know, nobody's going to do that. Just love to fuck with them. The entertainment is real, you know?
Oh, I'm sure.
I gotta keep it fun for myself a little bit.
So, with that being said, how would I pass the blunt to you safely and effectively?
Effectively. Well, since we're homies, you'll get it. Some people don't understand, and they get a little weird when you hand them, like when I take a blunt. Well, it gets a little better, a little worse when it's like lower. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When you go to hand it off to someone.
That was light work.
Oh yeah,
that was easy.
Okay, some people get weird as fuck about it though, and they come over and they're like, I can see the panic, and they're like, oh God, how do I do this? What nub do I put it in? Oh God.
Choose a nub.
She's missing one whole finger. How do I pass a blunt? Like, just fucking throw it out there, dude. It's not hard. But some people do get like real weird about it. But like, I feel like people I smoke with often, they get it.
Yeah, no, I got it right away. And I don't think we've even passed blunts before, so it might be our first
time. Because you're not weird. Some people get really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Fun fact, when I used to play basketball in high school.
Oh, crap. Talk about that.
I used to be the point guard, and people were scared to guard me. So I remember there was this one time we were doing a free throw, or somebody was doing it, and I'm like, in the paint, getting ready to box out. And the ref's talking, whatever, taking a minute, and I see homegirl next to me just staring at the nubs, just mortified, just looking, And I kind of move it back and forth, and she just follows it. So I do one of these and just right up the face, and she makes eye contact and looks at me, and I was like, it's contagious. That bitch did not touch me. I jumped up and got the ball, and she just stood back, and her coach was like, what the hell? And she's just looking at me like, nah, I'm good. I don't want any of that. I'm all set. So it worked out for me. And so their coaches were like, dude, somebody's got to guard this girl. Like, she's going for it.
Someone's got to guard this girl.
Yeah.
I swear she doesn't have Ebola.
Yeah. Not that contagious. Only a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get the burn on you. I might burn you back, bitch.
I've heard that's how you get the gay, too. I don't know.
That's the same thing, I think. Yeah. The LGBTQBBBB. Also, you told me you don't have opposable thumbs, too, so it makes it hard to, like, hold things. And
it's not as far as they bend. So I usually kind of use my pointers as my thumbs. And so I, like, pinch things like that to grab. So, like, grabbing a drink, I usually grab it by the top, which is real weird. And not great for bartending, which is, people, I try not to grab it obviously by the top. It's a two-hand job at that time, There's not a lot of one-handed holding on to anything. It's a little too hard.
You bartend as well.
Yeah. Slanging the drinks with these nubs.
Slanging the merch and the drinks.
Dude.
Nub slinging. Oh, yeah. So how do you, may I ask, how do you drive?
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah. As fast as possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's pretty easy. I just kind of hang on. I do things just differently, I guess. Especially not having thumbs, or I have thumbs, but posable thumbs. Just hang on differently. Like I said, use this as a thumb sometimes. Like when I'm turning, this is my thumb, this is not my thumb. Does that make sense? I guess I kind of need a steering wheel, but she looks small, but she's mighty. There's some strength.
I feel really safe when you're driving me around.
Yeah, good. Hell
seriously.
Yeah. Rubber lane, baby.
I feel the safest when I'm driving with you.
I love that.
Yeah. What's cooking and cleaning like as a burn survivor, or just any household daily activities some of us wouldn't even think about, and how do you deal with that stuff?
Cooking, it's all pretty easy. Cooking is not the worst, but using knives, I have no wrist strength when my wrist is straight, but I have strength when it's bent. So cutting is awkward. It doesn't feel great on my wrist because I have to do it sideways, and I'm right-handed. I'm not left-handed. So that's awkward, but as long as I don't have to cut a ton of stuff, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd say the biggest issue I have is opening things, more like Gatorades, or honestly anything just twist off. That's not the vibe for these at all. And then cleaning, sometimes I feel like these nubs clean better than other hands because they get weird angles where you can just clean better. It's kind of great.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's not bad. Same with rock climbing. These don't straighten. You can just hook it into a hold, and I'm dangling.
No way.
2 fingers. They don't straighten whatsoever. Yeah, just hanging on. So it's there's upsides.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Pros and cons.
But yeah, mostly just opening things is the biggest problem I have, and to solve that, I have always lived with roommates, so we kind of have they know the deal now. Where if I buy a pack of Gatorades, I just leave it on the stove or somewhere for them, and they just open them all and reclose them so I can pop them open. Or my roommates are usually home pretty much most of the time. One of them is, so that's always nice. I'm constantly can somebody open this for me? All the time.
That's good that they're there to help with that and stuff. Yeah.
That, and then I guess I do drop stuff a lot, so they're kind of constantly you okay?
Just checking.
Yep. Just drop something again. It's fine.
Yeah, so you have roommates. Are you in a relationship?
I am, yes.
Nice. Okay, what's it like dating as a burn survivor? Dating or online dating?
Yeah, dating was horrible. It was the worst. Dating in Michigan also was not ideal. I'd say most of it was online dating, just because meeting another lesbian in Battle Creek, Michigan was kind of not really a thing at that time, I guess. So yeah, online dating was horrible. I don't know, there'd be a lot of people that would set up a date, and then I'd show up and they'd see me and didn't think that I was burned, or didn't see the pictures I guess enough, or I don't know, and just would straight up leave. I've had people I told them I lied to them even though there was pictures of me burned. I'm I can't hide it. 95% of my body is covered in burns, so I can't really hide it. So it's in every picture,
And what do they say when you say, I'm not hiding it?
They don't really care. They just bounce, kind of thing. I've had people where I've you meet them online, whatever, so you try to get to know them, so you have a phone call first before meeting in person, and they would be saying like I'm a man because of my voice, or like say I wasn't who I was because of the way that it sounds, and I would tell them like, oh, I'm a burn survivor. I had a trach, I have burns on my throat and whatnot, so it's gonna sound a little different. They just hang up the phone, or you get ghosted, they never talk to you again, or like some people will be like kind of understanding. You're like, okay, cool, there's a little bit of hope, and then you go on like one date with them, then never talk to them again, or they just ghost you forever. But I did it for so long, so I kind of just figured out ways to do it. I would try to talk to people a little bit like through text and stuff, obviously to get to know them and like get to know their personality and whatnot. And then if I did think that they had like a good enough personality, we would meet up, and if they were cool with that too, I would usually tell them a super fake story of how I got burned, like something super crazy and obscure, just to see if they have a good sense of humor to go with it. And if they like laughed about it or like thought it was entertaining, whatever, I'd be like, okay, cool, we can like continue to talk. And other people would get pissed. Like some people got super offended that I like made up a fake story. Or sometimes I would tell them the real story, and they'd tell me that I'm lying to them. Super weird. So it's gone like every direction you can imagine. I've dated people that didn't want to hold my hands because they're burned, I guess, or like felt uncomfortable with it. That they never like directly said it, but like I can tell. You can feel that energy. So that was always kind of weird.
Can you swim?
Yeah, but not very good. I don't have a lot of body fat, so I don't float. I straight up sink. It's like hard to stay above water. Like I have to like actively try. Because I have like, because I was so young when I got burned, and it's burned so many layers of skin that it's burned like the hair follicles, the sweat glands, and also the fat cells. It's literally skin and meat now, and then bone. So since it burned off that fat cell layer, I physically cannot gain weight. So I can't get fat cells. I have some fat cells, obviously, in areas, but like predominantly I have like no fat cells, which is like, go around.
So
kind of cool.
Did the burns affect your height as well as just like the growth of everything in your body, basically?
Yeah, when I had a surgery, I don't even know how old I was. Probably like 10 years ago now, maybe. Across my torso, like my torso was so tight, like just like rock solid. The doctor went in and cut across my torso, so like belly button to spine, basically. And he said when he was cutting it, it was so tight and condensed in that my skin like literally ripped open.
Oof.
So much, like a foot. He was like, we don't know if we have enough skin to cover that area. So like we might have screwed up. Like we might have to shave her head and take skin off of her head as well as the legs, because it's just so wide open. And kind of the same thing, I had surgery done on this side, except for it wasn't belly button to spine. It was more like hip bone to armpit. And the same thing, they cut and it just like ripped open. It's just so tight. So I probably would be like taller, and I'm like way more. I've weighed like between like 80 to 95 pounds my whole life. It just depends on like, a day.
I kind of want to circle back just to more of the love and dating stuff, if you're okay with me asking like a couple more questions about that. What's the longest term relationship you've ever been in with someone?
I don't know, like 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel like accepted completely by that other person? Okay.
No, I definitely felt like they were ashamed of me. But also we were in the she was in the closet still, so hiding me because of being a lesbian or hiding me because of my burns was like a very fine line that I don't know if I could always tell, but I don't know. There was times where it just like they were also one of the people that like didn't really want to hold my hand that much, or like at least my right hand, which was like very like very obvious. I don't know if it made them feel awkward. I don't know, but it was just like very apparent that they didn't want to hold this hand.
And was that back in your hometown?
Mm-hmm.
In Michigan?
Yeah.
So, do you think people are more accepting of I mean, what you've been through and your burns here in Colorado?
100%. Like, way, way more, drastically more.
Really?
Yeah. My, like,
why is that?
Value of life went through the roof when I moved here because people were staring at me like I'm a zoo creature. I feel like still when I go back to Michigan, people are just like gawking. Like they just don't understand it. I don't know. Everybody there is just like so behind the times, I feel like. I don't know. But I mean, it's horrible. Even going to the grocery store there, I remember it was like shortly after I had had surgery and I had like shorts on and I had bandages and there was like blood coming through some of the bandages. But like my sister and I had to go to the grocery store and we have to go home and it's like, you know, I'm crippled. I gotta get groceries still too, though. And this lady was staring at us so hard. My sister like takes her cart and like rams into her cart. She's like, "Are you looking at something? Like, what do you need?" Like going off. My sister will pop off on people constantly. I love it.
Nice.
And I'm like clueless. I'm like, "What's happening? Somebody's staring at me." But yeah, I mean, when I moved here, it just felt like unreal. I worked at Topgolf when I first moved here, and even working there, it was like nobody gave a fuck. Like, I mean, obviously people ask, like, "Oh, what happened?" But like, everybody was very chill. Nobody like stared and made a point to be like, "Oh my god, what happened?" Oh.
Have you traveled to other cities that also felt different for you, or have you traveled out of the country? And what was that like?
Yeah, I went to Mexico and it was awesome. Everybody there was great. They were super nice. Nobody like said or anything. I will say though, I loved Mexico because everybody knew that I was a girl.
Nice.
Everybody.
They could sense the femininity.
I guess, yeah, but everybody here in the States has a huge. They can't figure that shit out.
Culturally, it's just.
Yeah.
Especially Michigan. I mean, you know this, but I'm from Michigan as well, and I just know they're stuck in their own kind of zone up there. It's like.
Well, yeah, there's like no thought process past, oh, short hair, man. Like that's it. You know, like there's no
especially, like Battle Creek.
You know, there's no fucking anything.
Not to talk too much crap about
sorry, BC.
Michigan and stuff, but I mean there's good and bad parts to all places and stuff, but I would assume being out here I felt more accepted, and especially I mean you're a lesbian woman as well. They accept that out here way more than they do in Michigan too. So also they're more accepting to like other gender identities and stuff like that. So it's well,
even just like walking downtown, like there's people wearing all kinds of crazy clothes and there's crazy hairdos and tons of other women with short hair. So it's like, okay, I feel like I fit in Michigan. There's like no other women, it seemed like, with short hair or like, you know, I just I don't know. I don't know if people were staring at me because I'm a lesbian or because I have short hair, because I'm a woman with no boobs, or because I'm burned. Like, there's so much going on. I got a lot to stare at, but it's like, my God, look away.
Okay, look away.
But yeah, people in Colorado are like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. We've seen way crazier. So I think that's why I just love being here so much. Even going home just to visit, I slightly dread it.
Yeah.
Just like,
no, go.
I was gonna bring this up earlier too, is going into the bathroom is like a huge thing in Michigan, because they don't have a lot of mixed gender bathrooms in Michigan yet. It's kind of more of a thing here in Colorado, but for whatever reason, again, they see short hair or no boobs and they immediately think I'm a man. You know how many times people in Michigan have been like, "You're in the wrong bathroom." Nope, I'm sure not. And people are like, "No, you are." And I'm like, "I'm not. Like, I'm a woman just because I'm sorry I don't have boobs." And they're like, "No, you're in the wrong one." I'm like, okay. I've had people get like heated. Like when I used to work at the casino, I worked there for 7 years. I was in the locker room changing with one of my coworkers next to me, and there's another lady comes in for a different department, whatever. And she started yelling at me, telling me that I was in the wrong locker room. Granted, I've seen this woman many occasions. We worked together. We're not, like, together, but, like, I've seen her before. She's seen me. And I know she's seen me in that locker room before. But she, had the audacity to tell me I'm in the wrong locker room and I'm not supposed to be in there. And I was like, no, I can't. I'm a woman, this and that. And she like just started popping off, and I was like, yeah, fuck, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving. And my coworker was in there and gave her the fucking deal. So I was like, I'm not doing that shit.
Do you ever get really sad or have depressive episodes from how people treat you because you look different to them?
I would say sad. Mostly like the sad thing gets me with like the bathroom. Like I hate that. There's definitely times where I'll like sit in the stall and wait for people to leave so I don't have to get the fucking awkward, like everybody's quiet all of a sudden because they think there's a dude in there. Like that shit pisses me off. I don't like that. But I mean, not really like depressive. I mean, there's days where I'm like, this kind of sucks, but then there's also days where I really have a lot of fun with it because I fuck with people. And also as a bartender, like fucking with people, they love it, and then I make a lot of money off of it. So it's like it's entertaining, it's fun. I think I have more fun with it than I have sad with it. If that makes sense, But yeah, I mean, there's definitely sad days. I think that's also kind of why I smoke a lot of weed because I think it kind of helps like block out me seeing people staring at me as much or like judging me as much. But again, living in Colorado is just so much better than Michigan, where I feel like I am very, very, very rarely getting stared at when I'm here in Colorado. But like Michigan, it's like right off the rip. Or airports. Airports, big time. So yeah, like traveling. Yeah, I don't like going to airports a lot because you get stared at a lot. And then actually hasn't happened recently, knock on wood, but it happened a lot for a very long time where I go through security and they would check my hands for bomb resin.
No.
I was like, yeah, I so badly want to make the joke. Like, do you guys think I fucked up the first time? And I'm like, back again? Like, I'm just a little gingy. Like, why are we doing this? And it's crazy too, because I have like really bad like chronic back pain on like the right middle side of my back. And every time I would go through security, they would like scan that part and it would like show something on their radar that there's like something in that area of my back that's setting off their radar. And so like every time I go through, they have to check that spot on my back. They have to check for bomb resin. Sometimes they have to, check it all. I'm like, okay, great. Love that for me. I'm just trying to travel. Here we are.
You can check it out.
No, they haven't like done a search, but I've had ladies like pull down my pants.
No.
Not like all the way, but like
No.
she pulled them down quite a ways, and I was like, "Oh, I don't wear underwear, ma'am. I'm not do that."
What?
Yeah. She and I was like trying to make some fucking jokes with her. I was like, "Oh, go take me to dinner first." She was not having it. She like pulled the pants out and down and like had her hands like going around the waistband, but I was like, I'm not wearing underwear, and she still didn't really give a fuck. I was like, okay.
She's like, I deal with this every day.
And she's like, I don't give a fuck.
I put it work.
But it was interesting. The one time the lady was like nice that was like checking me out, and I was like, can I ask why you guys always like check that spot on my back? Like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? And so they showed it to me, and you can see it's like a darker color or whatever. And I was like, well, so I'm a burn survivor, and I have like really bad scar tissue damage and stuff right there. And they're like, oh, that's probably what we're seeing. Like, that's why that's like popping off every time is because your back is like fucked right there. It's like, oh, cool. Because I thought it was like staples or like a chunk of metal or something that was left in me. It's like, so there's like tweezers in there or something somebody left behind. And they're like, no, it doesn't go off for metal. It goes off for like other stuff. So.
Dense fascia.
Yeah, basically is what it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I get like every single time. Like, what are you seeing there that I don't see? I was like, oh, damn.
As a burn survivor, is there anyone who fetishizes your burns or just comes up and like wants to like talk to you and thinks you're like exotic or something, just they want to.
Yeah, I had this guy I used to work with. He was like a different department, but we'd see each other once in a while and whatnot. But I talked to him at a bar one night, just, hanging out. I was like, oh, I see you at work all the time. Just want to get to know you. We're just chit-chatting, whatever. He finds me at work, however long after that, and gives me his phone number. And he's like, oh, do you want to go on a date? This, and that. And I was like, nah, I'm good, dude. Well, then I kept seeing him at work, and I also worked with his brother. His brother was, like, in our department, and it somehow, like, came up. He was, like, very fascinated that I was burned. And I do remember that when we were talking at the bar, he, like, asked a lot of questions about it, but at the time I didn't, like, think about it a lot because people ask a lot of questions, whatever. And it got a little weird. Like, he just was, like, really trying to hang out, and I was like, no, like, I'm gay. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm good. I'm chilling. So it didn't get, like, super duper weird, but I do remember another guy as well he just seemed, like, fascinated with the fact of me being burned. Like, every single interaction we had was something about me being burned. And it was weird. Like, I get it, you got questions, but, like, to bring, like, every single thing we speak about, you have to bring up about that. It was weird. It was too much for me, to the point where I would, like, try to avoid the dude. Like, I worked with him for 7 years, and see him, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a different route that way. It was just weird. It's too much. Some people, yeah, they get really into it, which is, yeah, strange.
Tell me about that one time, something about the clementines or the oranges when you were selling. Like that lady or the peaches, what was it? It was some lady who came up to you and she wanted you to like feel something, or she was just straight to the point with it.
Yeah, she was pretty sauced on,
I'm sure,
some sort of drugs, but she was trying to figure out how to transfer money, but she was, like, very faded, couldn't figure out how to make the phone work. It's magic. She's kind of figuring it out. I was talking to somebody, like, oh, I can't wait to go on my lunch break. I'm starving. And she resurrects from her slumber to tell me that she has a snack for me and reaches. She's like, so when she first came up, I saw a bulge. There was a bulge going on in the pants, but, I don't, each their own. I don't care. I could care less. But then when she has a surprise for me and she's reaching for said bulge, I'm starting to get a little weirded out. And she digs deep in and pulls out a cup of peaches, like the little fruit liquid peaches.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to give me that as a treat. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want your pussy peaches. You can keep them, sis. I said, also, you don't have to sneak in food here. You can bring it in. Keep it out of there. But yeah, she was wild. She was in love. She was trying to get me to have a threesome, and I just shutting it down over and over. And she came back, like, multiple occasions with her partner that she wanted to have a threesome with to really try to convince me. I was like, no.
Oh my God.
At one point, I hid around the corner, and someone else was taking care of him, and I heard her, like, where's Lane at? Where's Lane? I'm like, just hiding in the corner, like, fuck. It's the ginger powers, just...
It's too much. It's too much for some.
Can't hang.
Peaches and cream. Sorry.
Can't hang with all this gingerness.
I guess not. How did your burns change the way you feel about being touched, hugged, stuff like that? How does touch feel like?
I love it.
Okay.
Love being touched. I think it's because I don't have a lot of nerve sensation in the majority of my body. It burned off all those layers. Most places it is burned off, but the best way I can describe it is like if you put duct tape on yourself. So, like, some places feels like I have, like, 1 layer of duct tape. Other places feel like I have, like, 12 layers of duct tape. So, like, imagine if you had duct tape on and you're, like, touching yourself over that. That's kind of what it feels like. A lot more, like, just very, like, dull sensations. But after having the tattoo on this arm, it, like, reopened for, like, nerves and cell generation for, like, because it reopened all of it. It, like, helped bring sensation to it. So now I feel a little bit more on this arm than I used to.
Wow.
Just kind of cool.
That's
Not
cool.
a lot, but like a little bit.
It helps.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so now you have a couple jobs and you work as a counselor at a burn camp. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and your experiences there?
Yeah. The Elysium Rouge Burn Foundation is amazing. It's fantastic. The things that they do for the kids there is just like unreal. When the kids come in the beginning of the week, we go through their luggage and stuff just to kind of like see what all they have to make sure that these kids have clothes and shoes and socks and underwear and backpacks and stuff like that. Some of the kids, they come through with just a trash bag with like a handful of clothes in it, and that's it for a whole week of camp. So the camp is really great about kids that are like that. They'll go shopping for them and get everything that they need to make it through the rest of the year until we have camp again. Um, some of these kids, they've never been in a lake before. They've never learned how to swim before. Some of them are like pretty old and have never swam before, which is like just bizarre to me. But it's so cool that that can be the first place that they learn how to swim. We have like one guy specifically that just teaches kids how to swim. He loves it. He's great at it all week long. He'll teach them how to swim. But they just do all kinds of good stuff. Like archery, you know, if there's kids that only have one arm and they still want to shoot a bow, we'll find a way and get crafty with it and bust out some duct tape sometimes and get really creative if we have to. It's just a great place for the kids to just be kids. They're not getting stared at, they're not getting bullied. They're just a normal kid, just trying to have fun. It's like a summer camp, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you just held your event, your first ever annual Beers for Burns, and raised $10,000, more than 10K, to send 10 children to camp. How was that experience, and do you hope to do more events like this in the future?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. Planning it was so much fun. The day of was intense, but I loved that as well. It was very good. It was an awesome turnout. Honestly, I don't think I was really expecting to hit that goal, but I cannot believe that we hit it and more. It's awesome. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to do a lot more events. Already got some things in the works and excited to do more.
Nice, yeah. I can't wait, and it's such a good cause. Yeah. So, this is Honey House Entertainment. We are out. Thank you, Lane Duckworth, for sharing your experience, sharing your story, and can't wait to have a part 2 eventually as well.
Part 2?
Part 2 is coming soon.
Hell yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.